Hey there guys, Dom here. This one is for those of you who are trying to do this workout thing in our 40s and 50s, but you're doing it at home. You're not a member of a gym, you're not in a CrossFit box, you're not even going to Pilates, you've just got some stuff at home. Now, unlike me, obviously, because I train clients from home, I've got stuff that I can choose from. But every now and then, like today, I feel like doing a fairly simple workout, but one that will challenge me in a way that doing normal sets and reps won't. And that's what I simply call a ladder or a pyramid workout. Again, this is not some metabolic adaptation, blah, blah nonsense that you're going to see while some guy is standing in the doctor's uniform. It's none of that. These are simple workouts. And if you do them right, with the right rate and enough of a pace about them, they will increase your metabolic rate. In other words, they will increase your heart rate. You'll get a bit of a sweat on. And at some point when you get through to the higher volume and the reps, if you've got enough of weight, they will become a challenge and you will hit what I simply call muscular endurance fatigue. Simple, straightforward. So what the hell am I talking about? Well, a ladder workout is this. I want you to start with 2 exercises. That's it. Or what I simply call a couplet. The dog's about to bark. Kira, stop. And this is this. So I did these today. Starting at 1 rep, do 1 rep of 1 exercise. Moving to the next exercise, do 1 rep. They might be single hand, they might be double hand. That's entirely up to you. It's your choice. Come back to the exercise number 1, do 2 reps, then 2 reps of 2, and so on until you climb your ladder. In today's case, I was looking for around 60 reps in total. So what I did is I simply did a ladder of 1 to 10, and that gets me around my 60 to 70 reps in total of the movements. I didn't necessarily go heavy. I simply chose to use a pair of 20 kilo kettlebells. But for demonstration purposes, let me show you the ones that I did today. Number 1, I simply use the kettlebell. In this case, I'm going to take the dumbbell and I did a goblet squat. So I did 1 goblet squat. I then went over into a bent over position. Okay, I didn't brace because I wanted to work on this guy. And I simply did 1 row right, 1 row left, come back up and did 2. Clearly, as I got through, because I used a pair of 20 kilos or 44 pounders, 45 pounders for those of you in the US, then I did end up coming down here and bracing my hand, because getting to the 7, 8s and 9s, at that there does hit some fatigue, particularly in my grip. That was ladder number 1, and there will be a link to it somewhere below in the comments. You'll go and see it on YouTube or Shorts or whatever, and you'll see what the workout looked like. Number 2, again, I continued on, but this time, I simply did I did a single arm deadlift. So from here, you might call it an RDL if you're only going below the shin. So I went down to here. In my case, with the kettlebell will touch the floor. So down, I did 1. I just did a single arm, that was it. So I did 1 rep on this side. I then went onto the floor, I laid down, and I simply did a double arm floor press. I then stand back up, changed hands, then I did 2 reps with my left hand, and yes, I'm alternating left hand and right hand and getting on reps. What I could have done is I could have done 1 rep right, 1 rep left, press, 2 rep, lay down, 2 presses, and so on. I kept it pretty simple. The ladder was all about simply getting from 1 rep up to 10, or in the second case, I went from 10 reps down to 1. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, not complicated. But 2 movements that are not necessarily the same, but because I'm having to get up and down, because I am hinging, I'm using my glutes, I'm using my hamstrings, I'm using my hinge, my torso, my trunk. I don't call them abs, right? I'm built like a beer keg. I'm a big, thick guy through this area here from spending a lot of time carrying a heavy ruck. So I got my hinge, I got my glutes, I got that movement. I then got in this case, it's a horizontal pressing movement in the second one. In the first one, again, I got my squat pattern. So again, I followed a pattern. I then went into the next movement and I got something different. Finally, I used the rack. Now, you may not have a rack. You might have a pergola or an outdoor veranda that you can hang off and you can do a pull-up. I didn't go for reps. I simply did what I called a battery set. Now, a battery set means every rep was treated as a single. So I went onto here. I did 1 rep. Simple, straightforward. I then got down onto the floor and I did 5 flutter kicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. I then simply stood back up, went back onto these guys, and I did 2 singles. So each time I pull, I'm not jumping, I'm pulling chest above the bar, so you chin above the bar, come back down, 1, 2, go again. So I'm not butterfly kipping, can't do that to save myself, okay? I wasn't doing singles and dead hanging, and therefore having to do all this. I simply did singles, but strict, trying to keep my torso nice and tight, okay? So it's a vertical pulling movement, and then I went into some abdominal, call it core, call it trunk work with the flutter kicks. These went from 1 to 5. These down here went in sets of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. And then my little abs, they're in the middle, made an appearance. More looks like a scene from Alien versus Predator, where the alien's trying to come out the stomach. But that's it. This stuff is not hard, but I get it, because it can be as boring as fuck when you're at home by yourself trying to do this stuff. Some of us know what we're doing, some of us don't know what we're doing. Some of us just get sick and tired of doing the same shit all the time. But here's the thing, doing that same shit all the time is getting you in that top 5% of people who just won't do the shit any of the time. So, when you're stuck, ladder movements, remember this. Here's the way to do it. Grab yourself a pen and paper. There are movement patterns. We have a push, okay? So we have a horizontal push and we have a vertical push, okay? So I can get bench press, I can get overhead press. We have a pull, likewise too. We have a horizontal pull and a vertical pull. Vertical pull, pretty straightforward. It's a pull-up. A horizontal pull, it may be a bent over row. Dumbbell, kettlebell, barbell, sandbag, rucksack. Child, grab a child. Brothers, grab a child. Pull them up, pull them down. That might be what you're doing. The kid will be in shits and giggles for the whole time, but you get my drift. All right? So we've talked about push, we talked about pull. There's 4 movement patterns in those. Okay? We then talk about bend, so a hinging pattern. So again, our deadlifts. Okay? We might do walkouts from here, walk out to a plank and get back up. Push, pull, bend, squat, pretty simple. Squat pattern. It could be what we call bilateral, 2 feet together. It could be a unilateral or a split stance. Okay? To go from there. Push, pull, bend, squat. Okay? Twist, something that's correlated. You don't have to do toes to bar. You could just simply get that dumbbell and you might just want to do simple loaded carries, loaded march. You could do this. You might hold the child under the armpits and do this. Trust me, your core is gonna be on fire. So push, pull, bend, squat, the twist component. Then we come into the lunge. Now I did a split stance before. That is a static one. Okay, we could also do isometric holds, or we could also do walking lunges. Again, I can go forward lunges, I can go backward lunges, I can go lateral lunges, right? I can do box step-ups, also considered a lunge as well too. It's entirely up to you. So, ladder workouts, movement patterns, start with 2 exercises, go from 1 to 10. If you feel good, come from 10 back down to 1. Now, if you want one of these workouts that is a fair bit more challenging, can be done with dumbbells, can be done with kettlebells. All I want you to do is comment below the word ladder and I will send it to you. It is one that I'm giving some of my dads who simply want to see something and want to try it. We are going for 5 exercises in this one. We're going from 1 rep up to 10 reps, and then we're trying to get down. The added challenge in this workout is this. There is a time constraint, so you got a motor, you got to keep moving. You will start with something as simple as a pair of 10 kilo or 22 pound dumbbells. And then when you can get up and down that ladder within the specified time, it is time for you to go back to the start and pick up a pair of 10 kilos for a pair of 12 and a halves. 12 and a halves to 15s, 15s up to 17s, 17 and a half to 20, 20 to 22, 25, whatever it is. The goal is then, if you're getting to the 22s, the 25 kilos, that's like the 45 to 55 pounders. At that stage, this workout becomes one of simply embracing the suck. It is that simple. Your cap will always ever be at that level, at those heavy ass dumbbells, no more than 60 minutes. Because trust me, after 60 minutes, you're going to want to throw those motherfuckers down the driveway. It is hard, it is challenging, but it is simple. But it will hold you accountable, and if you're a bitch, it will come out. If you are not, and you're going to keep plowing along, then welcome, Dad. Come along. I want you to be strong. That's it. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, all the social media things. I'm just an old bastard